Selling firewood may have been a financial debacle, but the failure hadn't been a result of poor planning. My idea had more or less worked, right up to the point where my engine exploded. My dad received the news of my truck's infirmity with an expression that wordlessly proclaimed, "That sounds about right." Nancy, now studying at Chapel Hill, visited the farm one weekend and studied the broken-down Toyota forlornly. "You know," she said half-seriously, "the only reason I ever agreed to go out with you was because of that truck." I resolved to get the engine fixed as quickly as possible. We sold some cattle that spring to help pay our bills, but much of the money went toward replanting the barren fields that Albert had sprayed with herbicide. After reseeding the pastures, my parents and I placed a strict moratorium on any additional farm purchases. The following month, when their credit card debt plateaued for the first time in years, their sense of relief was undeniable. With the cold days of winter behind me and my itch to sell wood now officially scratched, I looked forward to spring and new opportunities. It wasn't long before something came my way. Albert was now managing another farm right next to us, and he had planted 50 acres of wheat in a nearby field. Rain had fallen steadily that spring, breaking the previous year's drought, and this new crop was copious, an ocean of gold waving against the foothills of the Blue Ridge. It seemed as though he would have the bumper crop we had wished for the previous year. Perhaps it was simply for financial gain, or perhaps it was out of a misplaced sense of guilt from the failed partnership, but Albert offered me a 50-50 stake in selling the straw left over from the wheat. Our farm had a large barn for storage and tractors and wagons to help move it. It was an arrangement that required only my time and hard work to turn a profit, and I didn't have to think long before agreeing. When wheat is harvested, only the seed or grain is captured. The rest of the plant passes through the back of a large combine, a specialized tractor that harvests and threshes simultaneously. The combine is able to differentiate between the desired wheat and the rest of the chaff, and sorts the two in separate directions. The grain accumulates in a large hopper until the bin is full, at which point it is augured into a waiting transport truck. This is then hauled away to a processing mill and ultimately turned into basic ingredients for foods such as flour for bread. Meanwhile, the bright yellow stalks are forcefully blown from the back of the combine and deposited into long, fluffy windrows. These stems, which just moments before had held the seed head aloft, can now be gathered by another machine and transformed into rectangular bales of straw. Though the two are commonly confused, straw is very different from hay. The clean, quasi-soft golden stems of wheat, similar in shape to a drinking straw, are used for things such as animal bedding or landscape cover. Straw is mostly composed of air and carbon, and it has little nutritional value for animals. Hay, on the other hand, is the sun-dried blades of grasses and legumes. Good quality hay is packed with nutrients, and it's intended for animal feed in the wintertime.